Hi, Stitchers. Welcome to Tatreez Talk, where we share conversations about Palestinian embroidery. I'm Amani here with my co host Lena, chatting with talented embroiderers and artists, sharing their stories, inspirations, and the cultural significance behind their work.
On today's episode, we are chatting with Tala and Niveen, the mother-daughter Tatreez artists and designers behind Palmera Art. Welcome to Tatreez Talk, Tala and Niveen. We're so excited to chat with you both.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us today. We're very excited to speak to you and all of your followers.
Amazing. So, I have been following you guys for a really long time, and I am obsessed with your work, and I cannot wait for us to dive into that and talk more about like how it came to be and your inspiration and all that. But before we jump into your art, let's start with your story. So as Lena mentioned, you guys are a mother-daughter duo, which I love.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear about your family's connections to Palestine. So maybe Naveen, if you want to start talking sharing that with us.
Okay. Hi, Amani and Lena. This is Niveen. I'm Tala's mother. I have never lived in Palestine. My grandparents and parents are both from Palestine. We used to visit every year with our parents. You know, my grandfather was the Prime Minister of Jordan. At some point, he was the elected in Palestine at that time. But then we moved, you know, during the war, we moved to Kuwait, and I've lived there until I got married. I moved to Saudi. But we kept our connection there. My kids, one of them was born in Jerusalem. Tala was born in Amman, and my son was born in Canada. But we kept the relationship. We kept visiting their grandparents, and it was amazing. And we used to take them all over Palestine.
That's so beautiful. And where is your family from in Palestine, Naveen?
My family are from, my mother is from Silwan, if you know where that is, and my father
Mhm.
is from At-Tur, Jabal At-Tur,
Okay.
Abu al-Hawa. And but when we used to visit, my mom has a big house and it's called Al-Shayah.
Mhm.
So we used to visit our grandparents there.
And then Tala, you came into the picture.
Yes.
Tell us
Yeah.
Yeah.
about your personal connection.
My experience. So I do remember from very early on, whether it's through pictures or through memories of us visiting at least like once every summer to Jerusalem. So both my grandparents from both sides live there. So it was very nice to be able to, first of all, alhamdulillah, that we're even able to go back there and visit. I know a lot of people can't, and it's a struggle. Um, so it's amazing that we were able to do that and just literally experience the country that, so many can't. And seeing both sides of my family. So, for example, my grandma on my dad's side lives in a house that's literally 100 plus years old. So it's actually like a museum, the stone walls, the beautiful tiles, which later on I'll speak about, has given us a lot of inspiration with designs and everything. Um, so yeah, I think going back every summer, obviously as we grew up, it became much less, once every 3 years or 2 years. But whatever we do try to maintain that connection, as Mama said, to constantly go back and, stay connected to it.
Where are you guys based now?
We are both in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been here for 15 years. We've also moved around. I noticed while Mama was talking that it kind of highlighted the diaspora that you also referred to, how we're like all over the place. We're all
Yeah.
born in different places, but at the end of the day, and we're very much rooted in Palestine.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. So where did Tatreez enter the picture? Maybe Tala,
Um,
you can kick us off. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess my experience is also a bit different. Growing up, both my grandmas are quite artistic. Grandma from dad's side is into arts and crafts. She was a teacher, and she always did tatreez around us, embroidery, stitching, crochet, like all sorts of arts. Um, So I would always see her do that, and I always had an interest for it. Around the house as well, the pillowcases, the famous traditional pillowcases, the table runners, even يعني الثوب that we wear. So I grew up always seeing this from both sides of the families. And I had a strong interest to it, but I didn't really work on it. I was young and, moving away. When it's not really in front of you, you tend to lose a bit of like focus or connection to that. And so me and Mama actually work in wedding planning, so that's our main. But at the end of the day, we'd come home, tiring day, long office hours, and we would just want to relax and do something with our hands that didn't so much involve our brains. Um, and I got the inspiration to start artwork on computer, so digitally, and incorporate Tatreez in there, which Mom helped a lot with. So she obviously had experience, she knew the basics of it, and she taught me, and I also self-taught myself the rest of the stuff.
I love it. And I wish we could have a visual around it because I mean, I've seen photos on your Instagram. It's absolutely gorgeous. So how did we get to, maybe take a step back. What is
Mm.
Palmera Art? And like, where did the inspiration come from that? And did you jump right into that concept when you first started doing Tatreez, or it's been something that's evolved over time?
A bit of both. I think when we first started, my idea was that I really wanted, or I really imagined like a modern house, and I wanted an element of Palestine to be present in as many houses as possible. And I know that a lot of people, me personally, sometimes I feel like if it looks too traditional in the modern setting, you might not like it. Um, so I wanted to introduce Tatreez in a more modern way that can kind of be something that all generations like, and inshallah, all generations like it. But for me, as like the younger generation and something within Mama's generation, to appreciate the tatreez, but done in a different way. Um, so I think one of my first art pieces that I designed on the computer was in 2022, sorry, 2020 during COVID. Obviously, we had so much time on our hands. Yeah, this was actually the first piece.
It is so beautiful. We will share
Um,
pictures, like stunning.
yeah. So I started designing them on the computer, got them printed, and then we started doing the tatreez on the actual photos. So it's a bit of a mix of very old, ancient, archived photos of Palestine, mixed or layered like a mixed media with tatreez. But I've also done the tatreez in a different way. It's not, the usual like grid, symmetrical. I try to mix it up to hopefully target a wider audience.
Introducing the drop that nobody asked for, Resolute RGL, the sneaker that takes centuries of Palestine resistance and sells it back to you in leather. Co-founder Yossi Levin calls it empowerment. We call it exploitation. Same guy who once erased Palestinians from his projects in Haifa, now stitching Tatreez into a shoe to build his quote-unquote multi-million-dollar brand. They say it's bridging local and global. Translation: Palestinian women stitch, Europe profits, Israel wins. Limited edition, unlimited hypocrisy. Don't buy the hype, boycott Resolute RGL. This anti-ad was produced by Tatreez Talk. We stitch, we talk, we boycott.
And I will say, I mentioned earlier, excuse me, and I mentioned to you guys before we started recording, I love, love, love your work. It's
Thank you.
it's some of the work like I do. I've been doing some photo tetris work too on like actual photography,
Mm.
and your work is 100% one of the pieces that like inspired me to be like, oh, that's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'd love to hear from both of you, like, where did this idea of like I'm going to take these old pictures and actually like do tattoos on them, because that's necessarily like you said, that's like not necessarily like something that's traditional. It's that
Mm.
modernization of tattoos. So when did that become the idea, or how did that become the idea?
I think very early on. So I know Lena also asked if the idea evolved.
Yeah.
The idea so much didn't evolve from the beginning. I think the maybe the techniques or the designs evolved, but from the beginning, so I would be scrolling through Instagram or Pinterest, which we get a lot of our inspiration from, and I would see a lot of these photos, and we don't see them so much around like homes or on social media. It was very hard to actually find these photos, and I wanted to kind of highlight them and bring back whatever I can find in terms of archived stuff. Um, to represent the traditions, because now if you Google like Palestine tradition like, nowadays, you'll find different things, and I really wanted to bring a connection of the history or a few generations ago, and layer it with something from this time. So I think that's where the idea came from.
And what's your process like? How do you go from, okay, I'm gonna infuse Tatreez on these really beautiful old photographs to then actually designing and bringing it to life?
Okay, first of all, we start with looking for the picture, which I think is one of the hardest things. There's a lot of beautiful pictures out there, but there's also like the composition of how it looks. Is there enough empty space to do the tatreez? We don't want to overcrowd it. Does it have a strong meaning? For this takes like quite a long process. I actually have a piece next to me, if you don't mind me just showing you. So basically, I design it on the computer. So I add the motifs, the tatreez patterns. Um, each pattern means something different. We don't always specifically use that pattern because it means something. Sometimes it's just a beautiful pattern that works. So I print it out. It's going to be on a fabric, a canvas fabric. And then we choose the colors and we start doing the tatreez. So something like this.
So
So
the actual Tatreez is printed first and then you'll stitch over it
yeah,
afterwards.
the pattern is
Oh,
so there's
very
no
interesting.
itamin or anything. There's no grid. But there's so we directly do the tatreez on this.
Mm.
Um, Mama actually does more of the tatreez than I do.
It's a bit harder.
I
It's a bit harder to do it
Yeah.
on this fabric because before they used to do it on the etamine and it has the holes, so
Yep.
they know where to put it. But in this way, there is no connection. There is no
Yeah.
holes, no etamine, nothing. So, and if you get it wrong, it's wrong. You have to do it all again. So
Yeah.
it's not, yes, we have the design in front of us, but it's very tricky and it is very hard.
Yeah. Is there a reason why, Naveen, that since you do most of the stitching, is there a reason why you don't use like a waste canvas and you work with the printed pattern?
and no,
What
instead of using itamin,
Okay,
yani.
Yeah.
I feel it's I don't know, I have control over the fabric. It's much
Hmm.
easier for me to do it without the etamine.
Mm.
And lately with using the glasses and the etamine holes, يعني I have more control on this fabric than the
Hmm.
etamine. Now, if I have something that I have to do it exactly the same,
Hmm.
yes, I will need the etamine. Like we used to do it on shawls sometimes.
Hmm.
We need the etamine for that because we
Yeah.
don't do the printing. We just have the
Like
like a
photo reference,
yeah,
yeah.
like a photo of the
Yeah, yeah,
design,
yeah.
and then we just have to follow the steps on that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But for this one, I think yani it's for me it's much easier. I get used to it now. I
Mm.
work on these things at night while watching something on TV. So, I feel just relaxed and I need to sit and just do it.
I think also, sorry to add on to your point, uh, because it's not, you'll see from some of the photos of our work that it's not a full pattern.
Hmm.
Yani sometimes like the star or the cypress motif is like half cut, or
Yeah.
there's bits and pieces, so it's a bit abstract in some places. And it's hard because if it's going to be on etamine, you have to do it as you go. Where this is kind of like I pre-plan it, it's designed on the computer, and then we go from there.
And the material looks kind of thick, like you're mentioning, Naveen. It looks difficult to stitch on. How did you decide, I guess, on the material and how do you get it printed?
It's a bit of like a thicker canvas, you're right. So we've tried it on thinner canvas, we've tried it on different materials. I think this one was the best, and also we loved the color. It looks very raw and not perfect, which I think against my OCD is something great. Um, it just each piece is very unique in that sense. Like some pieces you'll have يعني, a little hole or some marks. But we've tested out a couple of fabrics before going on with this one. First of all, it's very sturdy, so you can the tatreez will stay, it won't be stretched in different directions. And second of all, it's not too hard that it's not, like when we first get it and get it printed on, it's quite stiff, but over like time, over a week, it gets much softer. Um, and the printing is basically like screen, not screen printing, like UV printing. So there's a machine that prints it out.
Very cool.
Almost 90% of our artwork is black and white, so that the tatreez itself in color pops up as well.
Okay, I have a two-part question.
Okay.
The first part of the question is, who are your customers? Like, who is like purchasing this art and hanging them in their homes? And the other part of that question is, I'm curious what conversations and like connections that you guys have been able to make through the Tatreez artwork that you guys are creating.
Mom, do you want to answer the first question about the customers?
هلا we have clients like from all over. We have a couple of clients from Saudi that each one of them just bought six. She just purchased them online, and then she asked for to as a gift. She wanted to gift somebody because she loved them a lot. We have another one that bought four, and we had to ship them to her to Saudi also. Most of our clients are here in Dubai, I think, Tala. Most of them
Yeah,
are in Dubai. Um,
mixed
and
nationalities.
Yeah, I was
mixed,
gonna ask, are they
yeah,
Palestinian, non-Palestinian?
yeah. And
Uh,
some people they wanted to, like their old parents' pictures or their grandparents' pictures. They asked for, and they send us their pictures and want
Mm,
us to put the design on that with the tatrees on top. So yeah, this is a bit harder because
yeah.
it's not our picture, it's their picture, and you have to Tala has to do the design to make it. First of all, we need it to be like HD and very
Yeah.
clear. And yeah, Tala, إيش كمان?
Yeah, I think, as you said, there's a mix of nationalities. It's not very specific. Obviously,
Mhm.
the Palestinians rush to these things, you know that. But I think what helps is because it's a bit more modern and different, it also catches the eyes of like a wider range of nationalities,
Mhm.
cultures. We've had people from the UK, Ireland. We've had literally like all around the world in terms of nationalities. Um, and as Naveen said, a lot of them are given as gifts. So maybe, like, for example, someone from America has a Palestinian friend and they want to gift their Palestinian friend. But it's a nice way of connecting people as well, with the mixed cultures and nationalities.
And so then the second part of my question is kind of, I'm curious because of this art that you guys are bringing into the world and all these people that you are connecting with through your art. I'm just curious about the conversations that you guys have been able to have around Tatreez and Palestine.
This season's hottest look, genocide. From the brand that brought you fast fashion comes fast track complicity. Zara just opened its largest ever store in Israel, 45 square meters of settler chic, while Gaza buries its dead. Their Israeli franchisee hosted far right minister Itamar Ben Gvir, who calls for shooting civilians and expelling Palestinians. His review: beautiful clothes, beautiful Israelis. Our review: ugly politics. And yes, the jacket ad, mannequins shrouded like Palestinian bodies next to rubble. Zara called it a, quote, misunderstanding and kept cashing apartheid checks. Boycott Zara and all Indedex brands: Bershka, Massimo Dutti, Pull&Bear, Stradivarius, Oysho, Zara Home, because genocide is never in season. This anti-ad was produced by Tatreez Talk. We stitch, we talk, we boycott.
Okay, so a lot of the times our work is showcased online, so it's a bit harder to connect with people. We have a lot of people messaging, getting in touch, but it's so different. And I've noticed the reactions when they see it live, how different the reaction is. They're like, "Whoa, like I didn't know it looks like this, the intricate details." So we do participate in a lot of pop-ups and events where we can showcase, where we invite people to come and see them. And in these times, usually we have a lot of discussions about, oh, like they would tell stories about them in Palestine or them wanting to visit or their family or um, like, oh, I can imagine this in my house or this looking nice here or there, you know. So we have conversations back and forth about the art piece itself. But adding to what you were saying as well, which is kind of like a different path that we also decided to take on was Tatreez workshops. Um, so we don't exactly teach Tatreez the way that we're doing it on this canvas, but we teach the basics of Tatreez. And I think this allowed us to create like a community. So we try to do this often, and it's literally like a group of girls or women, sometimes men, who talk about their experiences with Palestine, with their friends from Palestine, about stitching. And in that, we have a lot of mixed nationalities, surprisingly, which is so beautiful to see. Um, I think this is one of the nicest things that we do out of our artwork or where it started from, yani.
Have you been able to learn a little bit about the photos besides like that it was taken at this time or and I guess maybe as a follow-up to that, is there some sort of connection between kind of the designs that you choose and the photo itself? Like I like this blend of old and new. How do you kind of navigate that, both honoring the traditional but also exploring what's possible and what's different?
Yeah, I think when I first started, I was worried about being offensive in a way, because it's a traditional thing. It's a very beautiful, like clean, traditional type of tatreez. And I was very like unsure about how I felt towards changing that up, making it abstract, making it my own or our own. Um, but I realized that instead of it taking it negatively, it's an opportunity to target different people to fit in a market that's already like so crowded with traditional tatreez. Um, so in terms of the photos themselves, sometimes I'm able to dig in and find information about it. Sometimes I'm not. Again, referring back to what I said earlier, it's not so easy to find any nice photos that I can use. Um, but in terms of the design itself and how do I choose the design, sometimes, so it's a mix, it's not always set. Sometimes, for example, if it's like a picture of Al-Aqsa, then I would try to use motifs from Jerusalem itself. Other times, for example, there's a photo called Palestine Sweethearts, is what we named it, of two, like a couple basically. Um, I don't know exactly where the photo in Palestine is taken, but the pattern I use is very intricate, very detailed, very small. And I use that specifically to represent how much effort is put into a relationship, all the details, the little moments. So in a way, it's quite, I don't want to say it's random, but each one has its own story,
Yeah.
even with the colors that we use as well.
You're just kind of taking it and making it your own, and
Yeah.
giving it your own story, which I really love. Like how you're describing this one with the intricate design, kind of how it leads
Yeah.
back to like relationships. I think it's really beautiful, and that's what art is, right? It's always telling a deep, like yani on surface, it's one thing, but if you really look
Mm.
deeper, it's so much more. So that gets me really excited. I'm curious as well. What has like surprised you the most about the impact your work has had on other people?
Well, we have the latest piece we had was about Handala. It
Mm,
was Handala on a like the Kufiya background. and handala on top, and Tala had to add the designs. And the lady is so excited. And I was so excited that I finished it in 2 days. Usually it takes 1 month to 40 days, but I was so excited. The first day I sat like from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. just trying to finish one side of it. And the reaction of the lady that wanted that specific Tatreez, she's so excited, and every time I send her a picture, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. Even when I finished it yesterday, she said, please send me a picture now. I told her, okay, I'm driving. Can you wait till I get home? I'll send you a picture. And so we'll send it to her tomorrow. We agreed to meet and give it back to her. So some people are, very excited. Some people just, keep asking every 2 days, when will it be finished? When am I gonna get it? But like Handala was a very small one, 35 by 35 centi, so it's a small one. But like the big ones, they really need like around 1 month to 40 days to finish, and then we stretch them on a wooden frame to give it this, old feel.
Look.
Not like with the special frames. It's just stretched. So yeah, it's I personally just feel happy, here listening to these ladies, so excited about it.
Especially when they're gifts. I think this one is a gift, like a birthday gift, but a lot of them are either for their home or like a gift, Christmas gift, Eid gift or something. And it's nice to see that, they go around the market and they say, oh, I'm so glad I found this. Like it's very unique. And whether it's a custom photo or a photo that we've already done. So I feel like it's like, oh, okay, this is why we do this. It's a nice connection, like from us to the customer to their friends, and it circulates. And I think this is something that's really nice to see people out there that still appreciate this art. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's something, it means so much more. Like that's what's so special about Tatreez is it means something. It's not just like
Yeah,
this thing that you can buy that's mass produced and you stick it on your wall and like 10 other people have the same one. Like
exactly.
these are unique pieces that are really special and they mean something to everyone, even if they're not doing it themselves. Like they feel
Yeah.
something. Um, I'm curious if there has been any overlap between this work and are you guys still doing wedding planning or is this full
Yeah.
time? Is there like overlap between the two?
We had a few Mom Ali's wedding, if you remember. So it was a wedding. We were planning a wedding, and they're Palestinian. They wanted the entrance when you walk into the wedding.
The
Usually you have
Zephyr.
like the welcome,
The
yeah,
one-
or like the welcome board.
Mm.
They wanted a picture of themselves. So they previously sent one from their engagement. We worked on it, the tatreez. We did it with the colors of the wedding flowers, so shades of blue, and they had it displayed very, very beautifully at the entrance. So things like that. Or sometimes customers that we've done their wedding come back because they know that we have the artwork as well on the side. And it's kind of like a full thing. We get them married, they come back for some artwork for their home, and then we work on it. So yeah, definitely there has been overlapping.
Is there a specific piece that you guys have worked on, and it could be different for both of you, that just was like super impactful, or was like something that, yani, your favorite piece, or a piece that
Mhm.
like held some special meaning to you guys?
I think I know your favorite.
the big one? Which one?
The big
Which one?
one is nice. I love any of the ones that have to do with Al-Aqsa, to be honest,
Mm.
because we get to add like gold foil
The top of
details
the
as
room.
well.
I
And
love the gold foil. You guys just
yeah,
posted like a video of putting on
yeah,
it,
I'm
and it
doing
was so
that.
satisfying to watch.
Yeah. I think that for me, I would have said for you, Key to Return, because she's done, I don't know, maybe more than 30 of those. Which is the one at the back, like it shows the back of Palestinian woman. Oh, this one, yeah, this one.
Yes. Yeah, we'll post a picture. That one is a very beautiful one. It's a very powerful image by itself. And then
And
adding the
mostly,
tatreez.
mm,
Mm,
see people they ask for this one. And
Mm.
we've sold many of these. I've worked on many of these. And the second one that they buy is the map with the
Mm,
Yeah, that's
inside, the Dome of the
beautiful.
Rock inside.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the second one sold. But Tala likes the woman for Jerusalem because it has the
Ah, yeah,
gold.
that's
That's the one he
basically
likes.
anything with the gold I like.
Mm.
But it also depends between us. Like for example, we get an order and I'm like, oh, I don't like this pattern, Mama, you do it. And على طول I give
Mm.
it to her, you know. Um, so there are some patterns that let's say her hand is used to, and some patterns that my hand is used to, and it just becomes easier that way. Um, but we've been trying to share and mix it up. Like a lot of the time, I think we fight over who's gonna do the next piece as well.
That's good. And it's just you two that are doing the stitching.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a lot of work.
we it is a lot of work. Sometimes, I mean, as they say, like when it rains, it pours. Sometimes we get lots of orders, alhamdulillah, yani. And it's so exciting, but also so overwhelming and tiring.
Mm.
But again, it's we love what we're doing, so it's never like ugh, effort or something that we don't like. And it's become so يعني so عادي and so like so easy for us to do that we can do it while watching TV or while talking or on the beach or anything really.
But do you have a hard time parting with some of these? Like after you put in all that love into it, is it hard to,
All of them. We
yeah.
literally say like my baby.
Yeah.
I think, Mom, tell them your experience, but you get quite attached to them.
Yeah.
I think I think so. Yeah, it is hard because you literally spend like a month or more working on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and I
So
think anyone listening.
I like to keep them a couple of days just in front of me. I put them on sofa or where I sit, just to
Enjoy
see
them.
how beautiful they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one, she wanted three together at the same time. So Tala did one, I did the other two, and then I had to keep the three of them in front of me for a couple of days until we gave it to her.
I don't blame you. All that work, you deserve to admire it a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously her kids were not enough.
I mean, to be fair, the Tatreez is a lot more work.
I know.
Yani,
Come
alhamdulillah,
on,
you're fine. You're
30.
fine. You're good. You're good.
I was
Don't worry
gonna
about it.
say 30 years versus 30 days.
But alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
she knows you're good. You could take care of
صح.
yourself. The Tatreez
Alhamdulillah.
needs, yani, needs support still.
That's true.
It's
I
my
hope it's
time to relax.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So on your guys' personal relationship, how has, I mean, I know you guys obviously were working together already with the wedding planning stuff and you guys still
Mm.
do that. But when it comes to the Tatreez stuff, because it is so related to being Palestinian and your identity and it's something that you guys work so closely together, it's art, so it's personal. Like, how has that changed you guys' relationship at all?
Mama, you go first.
Well, يعني for me, I don't interfere with the designs because I know Tala can create so many things with just like simple idea, or if I tell her I want this and she just creates it, herself. I cannot personally do that. She has a lot of creativity and ideas, and she usually works after 2 a.m.
Mm.
So by this time I'm sleeping. So it got us closer because she does the design, we choose the colors together. I listen to her a lot, not like I used to do that before, but lately,
It's given us patience, I think, to work with each other.
There you
more
go.
patience. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But it's a relaxing because wedding planning can be very stressful. I don't know
Mm.
if you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, it can be very stressful to manage it, to constantly be working. So we would have a lot of tension in that part of our work. So this is very peaceful. Like we don't argue or anything. And as she said, it's becomes like a little adventure, you know. I would go pick her up, we would go pick out the fabric, get it printed, pick out the colors. Um, but I think it has brought us closer together and closer to يعني, the tradition of it because Tatreez especially as you know is passed down through generations and this isn't something that I just came up with myself from teta to mama to me.
Mhm.
It's something that I will forever cherish and hold on to, يعني, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So what's next then for Palmera and then also maybe on your own personal Tatreez journeys? Do you guys have any projects in the works?
I am working on bigger pieces. So recently we've done a piece that's almost more than double the size of the ones that we usually do. And we both really enjoyed it. A lot of work, but it was very enjoyable. And just seeing it framed and yani, a very big piece was very exciting and it inspired me to want to work on much bigger pieces and maybe like one-off pieces and unique things. I do want to try incorporate more mixed media with it as well. So more of the gold foils, the tatreez, maybe some text. يعني I'm working on it, but it's pushing me to شوي step outside the box. I think also Mama's constantly asking for new things and new new photos to work on, new portraits. فإنشالله يعني we'll do something bigger.
Maybe we do like an exhibition or something.
Mm.
Maybe I
Yeah, we
want to tell her I
do.
want to do an exhibition, so just print for me more so I can, because every time I do like this key to return, it gets sold. So I've
Yeah.
been doing it, and I want to keep one, so at least for the exhibition. But this one
Yeah.
is already sold, but I'm gonna do another one for myself.
I think yeah, being this is one of our goals. We've only thought of it this year, and after all these years, but to see them all like a full exhibition for Palmera Art, having them there. But I want to also have a little description at the bottom so people can connect to each piece. It's not just oh, that's a pretty
Yeah.
piece. For definitely, inshallah, hopefully by the end of the year or early next year to have a exhibition for them.
Oh,
And one
please.
of the pieces that we have done, you forgot to mention that, Tala.
Mm.
Tala took the picture while we were there in Al Dome of the Rock while we were walking,
Uh,
and she took that picture. And this is the one we are stitching now on the Dome of the Rock.
yeah.
That's the famous one.
So
So
Oh,
yeah.
how
every
cool.
time I look at it, she said, "This is you and Baba here. Don't forget
Oh, I love that.
that."
That's like so much more
Yeah,
personal.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so
okay.
nice.
I'm all about this exhibit. Like, let me know. I will come out there. That is like that. Oh, I love, I
Inshallah.
love, I love. Are
We'd
you
love to.
okay, Tala, are you going to be taking more pictures and turning your pictures into
Inshallah,
art?
inshallah, if I can, yeah. يعني, again, it's very hard to find photos. A lot of the photos, are like old women
Yeah.
or old men. But in terms of landscapes, inshallah, I'll be
Hmm.
able to do more of that.
Inshallah.
Okay, we got to talk more about this. This is exciting. I honestly, I really love everything that you guys are doing. It's really exciting. I'm a personal fan of like, thought like you were talking about in the beginning. Sometimes like things are too traditional and don't necessarily like you're not necessarily drawn to it, and that's same with
Yeah.
me. So I love this idea of yeah, I don't even want to say modernizing Tatreez because that's not what it even is. It's just
Mm,
Tatreez is continuing to evolve as we as Palestinians continue to evolve. Like,
yeah.
our lives are different. Yeah, and we talked about the fact we're literally all scattered all
All
over the
over.
world. So it's really nice. I personally get a lot of joy and pride out of seeing Palestinians today own Tatreez in their own way. So the things that you guys are doing is just very beautiful, very inspiring. Like I said, I will say this until I'm blue in the face, but like you guys are definitely one of the inspirations that I had when I decided I wanted to start playing around with photo Tatreez. So thank you guys so much for sharing that work with the world because it's very, very beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
so we always ask, and we'll let both of you guys answer this. What are any major life lessons that you have gained from Tatreez?
Mm. For me, one of the, I think, things that first pop up in my head, Tatreez is really therapy. Don't spend your money on therapy. Just, just go grab something and start Tatreez. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that, um, imperfections are beautiful. It doesn't always have to be perfect. I know both of you have experience with Tatreez, and sometimes you mess up and you would notice it later. And it's just kind of accepting and embracing everything that you're working on as it is. So I think that's for me.
That's what makes it beautiful and unique, that there's
Yeah.
like little mistakes here and there, but then, this is the end picture. It will
Yeah.
look beautiful even with that mistakes.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
definitely. Definitely. I think also what you were saying, Naveen, earlier about like stitching without the itamine and like how it gives you freedom, like exactly what you were just saying about the
Mm,
beauty of the imperfection. Like
Yeah.
when you were talking about that, I was kind of thinking about that. So you see it kind of translate in every aspect of the art.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us and sharing your art with us, like telling us about your inspiration. I am just really excited to see what you guys continue to do. We'll definitely talk about this exhibition because
Exhibition.
I think it's like such a great idea, and I think we need more Palestinian art in the world and more more examples of Tatreez done in the way that we want to do it. So, very
Agreed.
excited to see that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed this.
And
Thank
Thank
you.
bef
It
you.
was
and
lovely.
before we let you guys go, where can everyone find you guys and purchase from you and get one of those beautiful paintings and slash Tatreez art forms to them?
Thank you. Inshallah, we'd love to spread as much and as many portraits as we can, filling inshallah as many homes as we can with tatreez and tradition.
Yeah.
And
Is
you can
Instagram
find
the
us.
best or
Yeah,
website?
you can find
And
us on كيف أحكي.
yeah, Instagram and our website. I can send you the links as well. But if they want to have just a quick chat or something, we're always available on Instagram, and there's in the bio a website to directly take them to the purchase market, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. We will definitely link everything in the show notes and share it
Thank you.
widely. It's so beautiful. I hope everyone can get their own.
Thank you. Inshallah, we'll be able to send you guys as well. If,
Yeah.
we'll have a talk about that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you both soon.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
I'm so glad we were finally able to get Tala and Naveen on. As I mentioned, I was like totally fangirling during the episode. But I have been following their work for some time, and I just, oh, it's so beautiful. I love the fact that they're a mother-daughter duo, and they're doing this together. It's like this marriage of generations, because even like as like Tada was talking about the images they use, they use these very, I mean, especially unless they're doing like these custom things, but they've started out using these very old school traditional images from previous generations, and they're this mother-daughter duo stitching together and modernizing this work. It's just, I don't know, it's really cool. I personally love seeing that kind of art, and highly encourage Palestinians to continue to do that. And I need to get myself back to Dubai so I can like meet them in person and see their artwork in person and hopefully go to their exhibit in person.
Yeah, I think what's really beautiful, like you mentioned about the cross-generational, I guess, collaboration there also, they're tapping into each of their own like loves and how they want to engage with Tatreez. So like Tala's from the graphic design background, and she can really like shine and bringing out these motifs and really making them pop. Because like they mentioned, the photos are black and white, and then the Tatreez is in these like these bright, bold colors, and they just it really just elevates it. Almost you feel something when you're engaging with it, even through the screen. Like we're not seeing them in person, but even through like your laptop screen, you feel the depth, you feel the colors, you feel kind of the vibes, and I think there's something so powerful about making someone feel something. And I think that's what's beautiful about using Tatreez in different forms of art, where it's not you stitching as well. I mean, I'm a big proponent of everyone stitching Tatreez, but there's ways to engage with it that doesn't require you to go in with the needle and thread. And I think that's what's really powerful about what they're doing. Yeah, I love that. And I loved hearing their process and how they came to this. And this is what's so beautiful. They mentioned it after we stopped recording, I think, like how it's nice to actually have a conversation because you see each other on Instagram and it's a very different,
Yeah.
experience. And they just like, kudos to you, Amani, for getting this podcast started. And because it's true, it really makes such a difference having these conversations. And I wonder if there's other ways we can help people have these kinds of conversations too, like outside of the social media uh, black hole,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
I know like, the idea of in person, it is hard, right? Because we
Yeah.
are scattered all over the world. Like before we started recording, we kind of joked around about the fact that like, I'm in San Francisco, you're in New York, they're in
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, like we're all Palestinian, but we're scattered all over the
Yeah.
world, right? Um, and it is really difficult. Like we had our event in New York back in July, and it was our first live in-person Tatreez Talk event. And, we both said afterwards, like, oh my God, this was actually like so cool to meet
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
and even like some of the people that we've only engaged with on social media, and like
Mm-hmm.
now you're meeting them in person. It was just really cool. It felt really special. And there were so many people there who weren't Tatreezers too, who still like wanted to come out and feel this connection. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm always a proponent of like doing Tatreez circles locally. I
Yeah.
know that's like small because, well, I mean, any of these live events are going to be small in the sense that it is local, but I think when you can do these Tatreez circles, it is so nice because you're getting in person. When you can go to a workshop, if there are exhibits, if there are any kind of like
Mm-hmm.
events, especially when they're art events, like Palestinian art events, like I highly encourage you to go. Again, I know it's hard in the diaspora outside of the Arab world, but when there are these events, definitely go out and support. Like in the Bay Area, we are very lucky to have like some amazing Palestinian artists and some events that have been happening over the years here. And I try to go anytime I can just because you never know who you're going to meet. And
Yeah.
I would hope that people would support my art. So I want to support other people's art as well.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't have those spaces where you are, like try to create that space. It really
Yes.
does matter. I mean, this is coming from someone who needs to take that advice, okay? But like it really does matter. It makes a really big difference, yeah, having that space in person. Um, Okay, food for thought until the next episode. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Tatreez Talk. As always, we want to hear about your Tatreez journey, so please share them with us at tatreeztalk@gmail.com, and we just might have you on an upcoming episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite listening platform, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. You can follow me at Lina Stob, Amani at Minamani, and of course, follow the pod at Tatreez Talk. We will talk to you soon.